So welcome you all for Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class on this Sunday morning. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana Yamunati Yamunati Ravacha Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Shri Shri Radha Madhav ki Shri Gaur Nitai ki Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maiya ki Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Granthra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki Jai. So we are discussing today from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, second canto, chapter number 6, entitled Purushukta Confirmed, and today we are going to discuss on the verse number 5. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 6, entitled Purush Shukta Confirmed, verse number 5. Romanya udbhijya jatina yarva yagyastu sambrita kesas ramsu nakhanyasya sila loha vrividyutam. Romanya udbhijya jatinam yarva yagyastu sambritaha kesasmasru nakhanyasya Shila-loha bhrividyutam. Romanya udbhijya jatinam yarva yagyastu sambrita kesa samsru nakhanyasya sila-loha bhrividyutam. Romanya udbhijya jatinam yarva yagyastu sambrita kesa samsru nakhanyasya sila-loha bhrividyutam. Lichan. Romanya udbhijya jatinam Mataji. Romanya yagyastu sambrita kesa samsru nakhanyasya Romanya Udvija Jatina Vidyata Romanya Udvija Jatina Yerva Yagyastu Samrita Samsuna Kanyasa Silaloha Bravidyata. Word to word meaning, translation, purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Romani, hairs on the body. Udbhija, vegetables. Jatinam, of the kingdoms. Yeh, by which. Va, either. Yagya, sacrifices. Tu, but. Sambhrita, particularly served. Kesha, hairs on the head. Smarasru, facial hair. Nakhani, nails. Asya, of him. Sila, stones. Loha, iron ores. Abhra, clouds. Vidyutam, electricity. Translation. The hairs on his body are the cause of all vegetation, particularly of those trees which are required as ingredients for sacrifice. The hairs on his head and face are reservoirs for the clouds, and his nails are the breeding ground of electricity, stones and iron ores. Purport. The polished nails of the Lord generate electricity, and the clouds rest on the hairs on his head. One can therefore collect all sorts of necessities of life from the person of the Lord, and therefore Vedas affirm that everything that is produced is caused by the Lord. The Lord is the supreme cause of all causes. Please repeat the translation. The hairs on his body are the cause of all vegetation, particularly of those trees which are required as ingredients for sacrifice. The hairs on his head and face are reservoirs for the clouds, and his nails are the breeding ground of electricity, stones and iron ores. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapad Shri Guru Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vidamsha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurava Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale श्रीमते भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती नामिने श्रीवर्जवान्वी देवी दैताय कृपयाब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुरोज्ज्वल प्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुगा भक्तिदा श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुगा वृद्धप्प सिद्धान्त-हरिणे नमो गौर किशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्य मूर्तये विप्रलम्बर सांबोधे पादाम्बुजाय ते नमः नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौर शक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगावराय ते गौराविर्वार भूमिस्त्वं निर्देश सज्जन प्रिय वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौर तुषे नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते जयतां सुरता पंगोर्मं मंदा मतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्व पदाम्बोज राधा मदन मोहन दिव्याद्वृन्दारण्य कल्पद्रुमड़ा श्रीमद् रत्नागर सिंहासनस्थ श्रीमद् राधा शिला गोविंदेव पृष्ठाली सेवमानो स्मरामि श्रीमान रासरसारंभी वंशी वटतटस्थित करसन वेणु स्वनैर्गोपी गोपीनाथाय श्रीअस्तुना तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृजवानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So, this chapter entitled Purush Sukta Confirmed, and we see here that this is a kind of description of the universal form of the Lord. And this is a continuation from the previous chapter where the previous chapter is the conversation between Narad Muni and Brahmaji. So there is a conversation inside the conversation going on in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. The first conversation is going on between Sukadeva Goswami and Pariksit Maharaj. Inside that, there is another conversation going on which is between Sut Goswami and the sages of Naimisharanya. Now inside that, there is another conversation which is going on between Narad Muni and Brahmaji. So, Narad Muni is asking some questions to Brahmaji, which is there in the 5th chapter, and totally asks for the 6 questions from Brahmaji. So, these 6 questions are further answered in the 5th chapter as well as the 6th chapter. So, one of the question was, you can go to text number 2 of chapter number 5, previous. So here Narad Muni is asking, my dear father, please describe factually the symptoms of this manifest world. What is its background? How is it created? How is it conserved? And under whose control all this being done? So there are few questions here. What is the background? How it is created? How is it conserved? And under whose control all this is being done? Then another text number 3. This is the only text number 4. My dear Father, what is the source of your knowledge? Under whose protection are you standing? And under whom are you working? What is your real position? Do you alone create all entities with material elements by your personal energy? So these are the questions asked by, who has asked these questions? Narad Muni. Whom is asking? Brahmaji. So in response to that, Brahmaji is giving answers. And that's how in today's verse also we see one of the question is how is it conserved or how it is maintained and details of that. So today it is mentioned about the hairs on his body, that is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are the cause of all vegetation, particularly of those trees which are required as ingredients for sacrifice. The hairs on his head and face are the reservoirs for the clouds, and his nails are the breeding ground of electricity, stones, and iron ores. So we can see that ultimately it's all Supreme Lord everywhere. To speak anything on these verses, and you need to have a lot of Vedic technical knowledge. Like here it is said, the polished nails of the Lord generate electricity. We know, we never heard that that's how electricity is generated. For us, we learned in our science that there were few scientists who discovered electricity. Before that, there was no electricity. It was discovered somewhere in 1800. Electricity was discovered by some scientist in 1850, something like that. But here in Bhagavatam verses, we see it is written, the word is there, Vidyutam, means electricity is mentioned. And not only here, even in Bhagavad Gita also Krishna mentions in one of the verses. What is that verse? Na tadbhasate suryo, na sasanko, na pavaka. There also Prabhupada writes in the purport about the electricity. So we have discovered just 200 years back, but we find that it is described in the verses of our scriptures. And that's why our scriptures, Shastra, is so unique, because it is a complete knowledge given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead or the great Acharyas, which are beyond the 4 defects. So, when it is described here, the universal form of the Lord, in the previous verses also we have seen that how everything in this universe is compared to some body part of the Lord, whatever is there in this universe. And that is what Krishna says even in Bhagavad Gita. He says, Aham Sarvasya Prabhu, I am the cause for everything. He is the creator for everything. Matah paratram nanyat. Nothing can be there. Everything rests on me. Everything rests on me. Matah paratram nanyat. Kinchi asti dhananjaya. Beyond Krishna, nothing is possible. So, many verses in scriptures describe Krishna's position. And it is very difficult to still understand. Here Brahma is explaining all this, but you will find later on in the 10th chapter, there is a pastime of Brahma Vimohan Leela, where Krishna came as a childhood boy and is doing his pastimes of a childhood boy. So he is doing his all childhood pastimes and he kills a demon whose name was Aghasur. And this demon was in the form of a serpent. So everyone was very amazed, because even the demigods were fearful of this demon. He was such a powerful demon. And this demon was killed. And everyone came to know that Aghasur was killed. And Brahmaji came to know that Aghasur was killed. He was very surprised that how is that? So he came to see what is going on, and he saw that there's a boy Krishna who has, as it is said, that he killed Aghasur. So Brahmaji was seeing the pastimes and was very bewildered, because a small boy and playing with his friends. And what he's doing, sometimes The friends are on his back and he's taking him on a ride, taking his friends on a ride because he got defeated in the game with them. So how is that Supreme Lord? He gets defeated and his friends are, he's taking them on, Krishna is taking his friends on ride. Shri Radha Madhav ki, Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maiya ki, Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So Brahmaji was very bewildered. Not only this, when he saw that they were eating together, then Krishna is stealing from others' tiffin and eating. And the climax of that was then when one of the cowherd friends, he drank some buttermilk full in his mouth and Krishna wanted to eat. So Krishna pushed his mouth, punctured his mouth and the buttermilk came out and Krishna drank that. So this was very much bewildering. So because of all this, Brahmaji wanted to take a taste. He wanted to take a taste. That is really Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what he did, he hid all the cowherd boys and all the calves. He hid everyone. And when after hiding everyone, he came to see what is going on, he saw that everyone was still there. And that was too bewildering from Brahmaji. How is that I have hid everyone? Then he saw they all are at my custody, but they are still here. So he got very much bewildered. And then Brahmaji realized that actually he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although he has come in a small boy, cowherd boy, playing with cowherd boys and he's taking cows and calves for grazing, but he is not a common person. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. At that time, Brahmaji says that I can tell from my mind, from my words, and from my intelligence that I can't understand the opulence or greatness of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's beyond my understanding, and Brahmaji says that. And the other pastime is there that one time Brahmaji came to meet Lord Krishna in Dwarka. And when he came to see Krishna in Dwarka, the gatekeeper asked, about the introduction, and gatekeeper said, okay, let me go and check with Krishna. So gatekeeper came and said that Brahmaji has come to see you. Krishna said, ask that which Brahma? So the security guard, the gatekeeper came back and they asked this Brahmaji, you are which Brahma? And that was so shocking for Brahmaji. Because he thought, I am the only Brahma. What about which Brahma? So the four-headed Brahma, so the gatekeeper goes and informs, the four-headed Brahma has come. And Krishna calls for all the Brahmas throughout his creation. And when the Brahmaji, our four-headed Brahma, goes to see Krishna, then he sees that there are Brahmas with 8 head, 16 head, and it is in the multiplication of 4, like thousands and thousands, Brahmas with thousands and thousands of head. And everyone is bowing down to Krishna's lotus feet. And everyone's helmet is touching and making a, like how you get a sound of the kartal. That sound is coming because when they all are bowing down, what is happening? Their mukut or their crown is touching the ground, and because of that touching the ground, there is a sound coming up. And everyone is with folded hands standing, and this is very bewildering for Brahmaji. Because he always thought that he is the most, topmost person on number one. It's like he's the one who has done all this, and he thought he is the head of this universe. But he realized that there are many, many more Brahmas and many more universes. When we read this universal form where it is mentioned that how everything which we are seeing in this universe is actually it's there only because the Supreme Lord is maintaining it. If the Supreme Lord doesn't maintain it, then no one will exist. Like he says in Bhagavad Gita, Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashrita Pranapana Samayukta Pachame Anna Chaturvidham. He says that I am in the stomach of everyone. What I am doing, I am helping them to digest the food. He is the digestive fire. If Krishna decides he doesn't want to die, he is not obliged to do that. It's not that, it is his obligation. But because of him only, we are able to digest the food which we are eating. If Krishna is not there, we won't be able to even digest anything. Then further he says, what is the next verse? Mata smritir jnanam apohanam cha. It's because of me. What is happening? There is a smriti. Smriti means there's remembrance, memory. And jnanam, intelligence. And apohanam means there is forgetfulness. It's just because Krishna is there, we are able to remember when we get up every morning that my name is so and so. And this is what I am supposed to do now. I have to go to the office. This is the location of my office. Otherwise, this memory, data is provided by Krishna to us. And He is the one who gives the intelligence. So whatever we are able to do, we are only able to do because Krishna is giving the intelligence. And then He says, I also give forgetfulness. Why is giving forgetfulness? So that we can enjoy in this world. There is so much of suffering, and if we remember all the suffering all the time, we may go in depression, and we may not do anything in this our life. We may become very discouraged. Suppose if we have a memory of how I died in my previous life, with a road accident or something, a fire or drowning in the river or whatever. And whatever, if we remember, it may be so painful that we will not able to live happily. So Krishna gives forgetfulness. In spite of having lot of bitter experiences in this life also, Krishna is very merciful to give us forgetfulness, so that we can again attempt to enjoy for which we came here. We left Lord and came here. So like that Krishna explains in Gita in so many verses. I am the ability in man. I am the one because of which I am the strength of the strong. So all these places it is explained that it is just because Sarva Karana Karanam. Krishna is the cause of all causes. Everything is emanating from Him. Still He remains the complete. That is mentioned in which scripture? Isopanishad. What is that verse? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. So He is Purnam, He is complete. And everything is emanating from Him. All of us, the whole creation, still He remains the complete. It's not that because everything came out of Him, He became incomplete. Or He's, it's like we learn in mathematics. If you add something to infinity, what happens? It is still infinity. Infinite. And if you subtract something from infinite, it still remains infinite. So in the similar way, so the Supreme Lord is that everything is resting in Him. He is the one who is controlling everything. He is the one who is keeping us do our day-to-day activities. He is the one who is helping us to digest our food. Here is mentioned, He is the source, actual source of the electricity. We are dependent on all these external powerhouses, power bank, and hydroelectric plants. But here it is mentioned, He is the source of electricity, the clouds, the vegetations. And that's how Vedas affirm that everything is produced, is caused by the Lord. And the Lord is the supreme cause of all causes. So we should always remember, if Lord is the supreme cause of all causes, what is my position? My position is to just serve the Supreme Lord. That is only my position. Like our acharyas have sung in their bhajans, Manasa deho geho je kuchi more arpilu tu apade nanda kishore. Whatever I have, my property, my mind, my own body, my family, everything is yours. Isn't it true? It's all Krishna. What is our contribution to this world? Nothing. We don't produce anything. Nothing. It's all Krishna's creation. He is maintaining, not only creating, He is also maintaining it and helping us to live our life. So we can learn from these explanations the greatness of Krishna, the greatness of his activities, and it is beyond our capacity to understand. But last time also I had mentioned one way we can understand, as he says in Bhagavad Gita. What is that way? Huh? Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tatvata. Only by devotion. One can understand Krishna only by devotion. Like Krishna says to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita that why I am revealing this science to you. Why? Because you are my friend and you are my devotee. Bhaktasya, what is that verse? You are my devotee and you are my friend. That's why I am revealing this science to you. Otherwise, there were so many people during Mahabharata time, but not everyone was aware that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. It was only Pandavas, pure devotees, only they knew that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Otherwise, not everyone was aware of it. So, our responsibility is just to serve Krishna. That is what we can do. We are infinitesimal and he is infinite. And if we serve Krishna, then that is our glory. Srila Prabhupada explains by one example that there is a very big, we are just parts and parcel of the Lord. Part and parcel of the Lord. And he says that just like a fire, there is a spark. If the spark is separated from the fire, then it has no value. What happens? The spark extinguishes when it separates from the fire. But when that is with the fire, it has so much of a strength. Similarly, when we are separated from Krishna, no value. Just like the finger cut down from the body, no value. It just starts decaying. But as soon as it is with the body, it has so much of value. So as long as we keep ourselves in connection with Lord, we have value. And we get disconnected from the Lord, then we have no value. So how do we keep ourselves connected with the Lord? By doing some service, by offering some service. And this particular month is stressed in ISKCON, throughout the ISKCON, as a book distribution marathon. A marathon to distribute, to spread more and more literatures, the scriptures among the common masses. So it's a very special month after 3 days, it's a Gita Jayanti, the day when Lord Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna 5,000 years back. So that happened on the day of Gita Jayanti. It's Ekadashi also, on 11th of December. And it is a day also called Mokshita Ekadashi, but for our ISKCON devotees, it is a very significant month for focusing more and more in sharing this literature, this Bhagavad Gita, with more and more people. And this particular marathon has been dedicated to His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. Maharaj is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, for some of you don't know, and who joined ISKCON in 1968 and who left his body a few months, this May month in 2024. So Maharaj was very strong and very dedicated to distribute books of Srila Prabhupada. So recently His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, who was giving a lecture in ISKCON Chowpatty, and Maharaj said that whatever books, every year ISKCON Chowpatty in Mumbai has a fixed books which they do every year, that is 1,50,000, that's their like fixed book for the marathon. So Maharaj said that this time, to show our gratitude, to show our respects, and to honor His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, we should double our book distribution. And he instructed the team at Chowpatty and all the temples, satellite centers connected to Chowpatty to distribute try to distribute 3 lakhs copies of Bhagavad Gita. So in the same way, to honor Maharaj and his service, and he has done this lifetime service of distributing books of Srila Prabhupada. throughout the world, not only just in India, but various places around the world. We can also try to make it more and more as much possible. Last year, ISKCON Bhivandi and ISKCON Atta put together distributed around 51,000 copies of Bhagavad Gita. We can try to make it double it. What is that? We all have very good mathematics. 1 lakh. 1 lakh books together, as we all are connected to these two projects. And it has a very great effect on the life of the people. I was hearing this lecture of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj on distributing books, and he was stressing so much, giving the whole background at how 500 years back Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would send every day to Nityanand Prabhu and Haridas Thakur to houses of people, go and tell them to chant Hare Krishna, go and preach them. So every day Nityanand Prabhu and Haridas Thakur would go to various houses in Nadia and preach them about Krishna consciousness. And the evening they would come back and report to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu what is today's preaching report. And they would tell, some houses they were welcomed, some houses the people were neutral, in some houses the people would say, these guys have come to see what all assets are there in our house, and they will come in the night and steal everything. They are thieves, chase them away. That was the situation for whom? Nityanand Prabhu and Haridas Thakur. Who is Nityanand Prabhu? Is Balramji. And who is Haridas Thakur? Brahmaji. Brahmaji, who is speaking these verses. Brahmaji Haridas Thakur. And they were going house to house on the instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to ask them to accept Krishna consciousness, request them. And that's how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they would report, and Mahaprabhu would very much stress on this. At that time, there were not many books and literatures like this. And later on, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed his important disciples, the 6 Goswamis, to write literatures. And there, when they went to Vrindavan, they wrote literature, they wrote a lot of books. And 3 of their disciples, Narottam Das Thakur, Shyamanand Pandit, and Srinivas Acharya, they took these books from Vrindavan and they wanted to go to Bengal and Odisha and preach everyone about Krishna consciousness. And that time there was no printing press or anything, so some or other it was all written on, bark of paper, and that's how they would go and take it and try to inform people about Krishna consciousness. Later on, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was again another great Acharya who was serving as a district magistrate in British government. Even Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote more than 100 books. And in 1896, he sent his book called Lord Chaitanya, His Life Teachings and Precepts. He sent this book to all the universities around the world. Just imagine what was his vision. In 1896, he sent the books around the world in major universities. How did he get the address of these universities? How did he ship it in those universities? But he did that. And in 1968, in Canada, in McGill University, Srila Prabhupada's disciples, they got this book and they came and presented to Srila Prabhupada. That Prabhupada, you see, in 1896, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sent this book in our university. It's there in the library. And 1896 happens to be the year of birth of Srila Prabhupada. So in that particular year, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur sent a book to McGill University in Canada from Bengal in the library so that someone will read about Lord Chaitanya. They had so much of desire to spread this knowledge. And after that, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur came. Srila Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati Thakur came. And Srila Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati Thakur established 64 Gaudiya Math around the India. And he also established many printing press in Mayapur, in Kolkata, where they would print lot of books, magazines, and go and give it to the people and try to make them into Krishna conscious devotee. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Swami Thakur Prabhupada, just imagine in the British era, he could establish 64 Gaudiya Math. That was like what we call it ISKCON, he called it Gaudiya Math. And he would instruct his disciples, print more books and distribute. And at the last stage of his life, when he met our Srila Prabhupada, he instructed him that whenever you get money, please print and distribute books, and especially in the English language in the Western world. This instruction was given somewhere in 1935. It was also given in 1922 when Srila Prabhupada met his Guru first time. But again, he met couple of times, and the last time when he met, this was the same instruction on the banks of Radha Kund at the Govardhan, Vrindavan, that whenever you get money, print books and distribute books. So Prabhupada kept this instruction always very close to his heart, and when he tried his life, 40 years, 1935, 1922 to 1965, we can say, 43 years, 1935 to 1966, 30 years, Prabhupada struggled a lot to translate these books, get it printed, and even he went to distribute it. One time, Srila Prabhupada was distributing the books in Delhi. It was so hot, that he fainted on the road. How many of us ever had that experience? That while distributing books, we fainted on the road. And someone came and sprinkled some water and helped Swamiji get up again. And again, Prabhupada continued with his book distribution. He didn't stop there. That was his determination. And he also gave the same spirit in his disciples. And his disciples also, taking the same spirit, went all around to distribute so many books. So many places Srila Prabhupada would say that my Guru Maharaj will give millions of times more mercy to you for distributing these literatures like Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, so many scriptures we have. So Srila Prabhupada would be very pleased with his disciples who would go and distribute books, and he would say that this is very, very pleasing to Krishna, and those who are doing this will be very quickly recognized by Krishna. Very quickly recognized by Krishna. One devotee was given the example of a Prime Minister of President of US. One time there was a guy called Reagan. He became the President of US. So one time devotees were doing kirtan at some place, and one person was advertising. He was doing advertisement for Reagan to become the President of US. So on his car he had put, vote for Reagan, and he was having a flag, vote for Reagan. So when he saw devotees doing kirtan, he also joined there with the flag, vote for Reagan. And it came in the news also that, there's a photo of the devotees with that person. Of course, devotees were not doing any kind of campaign for Reagan, but that's how the photo came in the newspaper. And later on, the Reagan became the President of US. So when he came the President of US, so he got a newspaper where he saw this photo that there are devotees and they are doing campaign for me so that I win this election for presidentship. So when he became president and he saw this photo, he told his secretaries, get this person. So this person who was, doing campaign for Reagan, he was invited to have a lunch with Reagan because he did campaign for him. So in the similar way, when we are campaigning for Krishna, trying to distribute his literatures, trying to distribute this teaching of Bhagavad Gita to the people, it is very pleasing to Krishna. When Krishna sees that someone is doing this, because it says in Bhagavad Gita in the last that whoever is trying to distribute this knowledge is very, very dear to me. And there is no one who will be more dear than this, who shares this knowledge. So this is the responsibility. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Jare dekho tare kaho, Krishna Upadesh. Whomever you meet, wherever you meet, try to share this knowledge of Krishna consciousness with them. So this is a responsibility. This is the responsibility to us. If we want to advance in our spiritual life, we should take this responsibility of not just like practicing, but one of the important aspect of practicing Krishna consciousness is even preaching Krishna consciousness. Not only just practicing, that even preaching Krishna consciousness. So as I said, all this what I am sharing with you from the lecture of Maharaj, because we had the good fortune to hear from Maharaj every year during the marathon time in Juhu. He would come to lecture on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and then he would talk about book distribution marathon and inspire everyone. And then he would go with the devotees for book distribution. In 2008-9, we would go on the Andheri station, on the overbridge of the railway tracks, overbridge. And there IYF would have a book stall. And Maharaj would also come, go to every stall to inspire the devotees doing book distribution. He would also stand on the overbridge with all the IYF devotees and distribute books for some time. Then he would go to other stall at other railway station like that. Whole day he would visit all the places where devotees have put book stall to distribute books. Even when he was like 70 years old, 75 years old, like this. So this is what is the expectation from our teachers, from the acharyas in our parampara, that we learn these teachings and then we spread these teachings. And by doing this, we will attract the attention of Krishna. We will be able to please Krishna, and the realization which we want in our spiritual life, all these realizations will come very quickly if we do this kind of seva. And this has an amazing effect. What happens when you distribute books? People become devotees. Many people read books and they become devotees. They come searching, finding out where are the temple, where are these devotees, and how I can learn more. So Maharaj was telling few stories, and he said that there was one time one person who was a sailor in ship, was traveling from Russia. He came to Sydney, Australia in the ship, and someone on the Sydney gave him Bhagavad Gita. So he got this book and he was reading. The ship again started from Sydney and went till London. So all the way he was reading this Bhagavad Gita. And from the London the ship went to, again came back to Moscow, and again he was reading all the way return. And throughout his journey he read Bhagavad Gita. I was fully convinced that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the perfect knowledge. When he reached back Moscow, he found out where is the ISKCON temple and he became a devotee of Krishna. So this is one story of people become devotee. Maharaj was telling another story that one time there's one person in Switzerland. His job was to oversee the garbage going in the garbage truck, and also oversee what people are throwing in the garbage, what kind of things are being rejected. So that was his government job, that was his seva, that was his profile. So one time he was monitoring this, the garbage truck came and garbage was being taken. Inside the garbage bag, that container, he found some spiritual books, some ISKCON books. He picked up those books. That he didn't allow them to go in the garbage truck. And he took those books with him. He started reading these books, and he was so inspired by the teachings. He just felt that this is the teaching, perfect teaching, and he also became a devotee of the Lord. So this is the power. So for some of us also this may be true, that we might have got a book, or we met a devotee and then he gave us some book and we read those books. So we should not only read, of course we must read. Many times when we want to distribute more, we don't read. So we must read, but along with the reading, we should distribute. Maharaj was saying that Prabhupada stressed there are two kinds of devotees. One are called Bhajananandi and one are called Goshtanandi. Bhajananandis are those who just want to chant all the time. Nothing to do with the world. They are inside their own room or cave or den, whatever, and just practicing. Not propagating, just practicing and keeping everything to themselves. And there's another one who is called Goshtanandi. They are the one who not only practice themselves, but they also go and give this to others. Goshtanandi, they go and share the knowledge with others. Inform others also about Krishna consciousness. So, our parampara, the Vaishnavas connected in ISKCON society, or whoever we want to become devotee, our parampara is that we serve on their footsteps who are Goshtanandis. Means practice as well as reach this knowledge. So, if we really want to experience more and more Krishna consciousness, we want to get more realization of the spiritual life, one of the most simple thing which our acharyas have stressed and expects us to do is distribute these books. So earlier in 1970s, when Prabhupada was in US, it was a Christmas time, and later part of the December, last 2 weeks would be kind of festival time, and most of the offices would be closed and people would be out in the market. So devotees would go to do a lot of book distribution, and it became a Christmas marathon in the Western world. But when the devotees came here, keeping the same spirit, The India Christmas is not such a big thing. So they named it as Prabhupada Gita Marathon. And coincidentally, even Gita Jayanti every year comes in the December month only. So it became a kind of coincidentally. It started with a Christmas marathon, but converted into a Gita Jayanti, Gita Marathon. And the goal is to share this knowledge, distribute this knowledge more and more. That because what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Prithvi Ache Nagar Adigram, Sarvatra Prachar, Vaile Maranam. Every town and every village, this holy name will be chanted. So this is, who has to do this? This instruction Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given for whom? Not for us? It is for us. We all are doubtful. No, it's not for us. Maybe someone else. When Prabhupada would discuss this verse among his God brothers, they would say, I think this means Prithvi Ache Nagar Adigram means every town and village in India. Because in the West, who is going to become devotee? No one will become devotee. This is just a concept that it's all Indians town and villages. But Prabhupada had faith. No, it doesn't mean Indian town and villages. It means every town and every village on this planet Earth. So this is the responsibility which has been given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to all of us. It's not so easy responsibility. Not that every country or every village or every town we go, people will be very welcoming. There would be challenges, there would be oppositions, there would be death threat. But in spite of that, in our capacity, we all should try to spread this knowledge, share this knowledge. The more we distribute, the more people will become devotees. Maharaj was telling another story that one person came to meet him in Vrindavan. He came from a city near in Rajasthan or UP somewhere. The name was Palwal. So he came from there to meet Maharaj Vrindavan. Maharaj asked him, how did you become devotee? He said that 10 years back, I was drinking all the time alcohol and I was doing all the bad habits. I was always fighting in my home, everything. One time my mother-in-law had some spiritual function, some program at the house, and she was giving Bhagavad Gita to everyone. So since I was also a family member, she also gave me one Bhagavad Gita. I got that Gita, I brought it to my house, and I thought, I am drinking, I have all bad habits. Let me at least read what is there in Gita. Because personally, of course I'll just complete this. So he read the Gita, and after reading the Gita, he felt so inspired that he got connected with ISKCON devotees, and he became a devotee and took initiation, and then started practicing Krishna consciousness. So what a effect, you can see what a effect it got. Personally for me, I never had or never saw Bhagavad Gita before meeting devotees. We learned few verses of Bhagavad Gita because of the serial of B.R. Chopra, which was Mahabharata. And that was the reason that this connection came to my house. Otherwise, we were having just DD1 antenna, which would sometime come, not come. But it was there in the newspaper. Now Mahabharata is going to be broadcasted on G channel, and G will only come if you have a disk connection. So seeing those TV serials in the beginning and the end, they would recite few slokas of Bhagavad Gita. So just learnt 1-2 verses. Yada yada hi dharmasya. Nothing else, not aware of what is written in Gita. But when I met devotees, first time in my college, they advertised a course, the science of self-realization. 30 rupees is the course fee and free Bhagavad Gita to all participants. So that was a very attractive offer. 30 rupees you give, you get a course to do, and you get free Bhagavad Gita, which costs at that time around 120 rupees. So no loss. So that was the first time. That time the Bhagavad Gita would come in the blue cover. Now we get it into the different yellow and maroon cover. So that's how I got my first copy of Bhagavad Gita, because of such program. And that's how I got the opportunity to meet devotee and to read Bhagavad Gita. Similarly, all of you must have got maybe somewhere from some devotee or in the temple, or maybe a friend would have gifted you. And then that has created some effect in our life. Not some effect, a revolutionary effect. Many of us, our life are so much transformed. So what we are experiencing by reading these scriptures, we should not just keep it with us. If we want to please our Acharya, if we want to please Shri Radha Madhav, we should broadcast this knowledge to more and more people, share with more and more people. Each one of us should try that at least everyone whom I know in my society, in my building, if I stay in a building which has say 40 houses, then every house should have one copy of Bhagavad Gita. If I have got 40 friends in my class, my classmate, then each one of them should have Bhagavad Gita. That should be our spirit, and even the more we can give it out. So each one of us should take responsibility in our capacity. And if we desire, then we can do it. And if we don't desire, then it will never happen. How did devotees preach in Russia? In Russia, there were spiritual books not allowed. We can't print books. And especially Gita not allowed. Russia, communist country, I'm talking about 70s and 80s, cannot do anything. Then what devotees would do? Underground, they would print books. And when there was no such facility to print, they would write. The whole Bhagavad Gita will be written by another devotee in a notebook. Everything he would write down and give to another devotee so that he can read. And then he would write down everything. And that's how it was handwritten copies of Bhagavad Gita, which would take so much of their time. From one copy, they're making handwritten copies and giving to other people so that they become devotees. And later on, some or other, they got a printing press and they started printing. But that was also in so much of issues. Police would catch them, stop the printing. Some devotees lost their life. But because of their sincere efforts, now we see in whole Russia, so many devotees are there. All Russians, so many ISKCON temples are there. This all started with sharing these teachings of Bhagavad Gita. So if we want to save ourselves, and protect the Sanatan Dharma, it is said, Dharma rakshati iti rakshita. One who protects Dharma is protected by Dharma. So if we want to be protected, then we should protect Dharma. And how we do that? That we spread this knowledge. Prabhupada always stressed, flood the world with these books. He talked about flooding the world. I am saying give to few people. But Prabhupada always insisted, flood the world with books. Flood, you experience flood. What is flood? Flood comes, then you don't see anything else. Everything is covered by water. And everything is floating in that. So that is the flood. So a lot of responsibility for all of us is there. If we want to make our progress, and if we want to make fast progress, and we are thinking, we want to make fast progress in our Krishna consciousness. This is the way. Read these books, distribute these books. And if we want to realize what is written in these books, sometimes many of us have this experience, my mind has so many thoughts, so many negative thoughts, so much worry. Because empty mind is devil's workshop. Mind is empty, so it's all negative thoughts are going on. So if we, Prabhupada used the word, purchase some anxiety for Krishna. Take some responsibility on behalf of Krishna. Krishna says, like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, make everyone devotee. So we take that responsibility on behalf of the Lord. That Lord, you want this, I will do this for you. Just like a son takes the responsibility of the business of his father, and that pleases the father a lot. No, my son has taken the whole responsibility on my behalf. So when we take that responsibility, then we give our engagement to our mind, which will protect us from all negative engagement. Otherwise, our mind will always trouble us and we become victim of all negative thoughts. So there is a way to benefit us and to benefit everyone, at least people whom we can reach out to share this knowledge, either Bhagavad Gita, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Krishna book, and help them advance in Krishna path. Hare Krishna. So any questions or any comments? Yes, Loknath Prabhu. His question is that in the neighboring countries, just like we see what is happening in Bangladesh right now, there is so much of genocide of Hindus, killing and attack on the temples. So what we should do? Shall we retaliate or Shall we fight or shall we just... What options we have? In one of the places in US, Prabhupada formed a political party. The name of the party was In God We Trust. That the political party, and the plan was to take over the government so that we can spread Krishna consciousness all around. But then, unfortunately, the party didn't do well and it got dissolved. So another place, Prabhupada said, if you want to spread Krishna consciousness around the world, then you have to take up the government. Maybe you can become a very powerful politician and become a prime minister, and then you can do something substantial. Otherwise, it's very difficult. It's very unfortunate. It's very difficult. Yeah, and the history is like this. When India was ruled by Mughals for 800 years, there was troublesome situation. But in that scenario also, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was preaching everywhere. He went all around, from Bengal he went to Jagannath Puri, and from Jagannath Puri he went to whole South India. He came back to Puri, then he went to Vrindavan. And he preached at so many places in that scenario also. So, such challenging situations were existing in India before. Things may be better now, but 400, 500 years back, Aurangzeb broke so many temples. The Muslim rulers broke so many temples around the whole country. Many, many temples were broken. Many, many devotees were killed. So history is like this. So, because we are not doing our job of spreading this knowledge, and we are very much satisfied with, okay, now I am a devotee, I am happy. So then, if we don't think about this, how many people we have tried to convince to become Krishna consciousness? How much my time, my energy, my money I am investing to spread dharma. Maharaj, again quoting His Holiness Gopal Maharaj, would say that people of other religion like Muslims and Christians, they make sure that some percentage of their income must go to their mosque or church to spread Bible or Quran. It is like something they do mandatory themselves. They contribute to spread these teachings of their Bible and Quran. But when it comes to Hindus, they don't do that. Most of them don't do that. And if they do, it is like 1 rupee coin, 2 rupee coin. So what is going to happen? What is our contribution to spread dharma, to protect dharma, and to make people follow dharma? What we are doing? We are not doing anything, then what will happen? Our dharma will grow. This material world, and material world deteriorates. So things from good will go towards bad. But it can be only saved if we put some energy in spreading the Vaishnava Dharma, or we call Sanatana Dharma, the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. Many people, even in we have Bhagavad Gita in Arabic knowledge also, in Urdu language, in Arabic language. And there are many disciples of Srila Prabhupada who would come from the Muslim community and they became devotees. Muslim community in the Africa, in the Europe, and they became disciples of Srila Prabhupada when they read Bhagavad Gita. So, as long as we are in the material world, there will be such challenges, there will be such problems. But what we can do, at least at our capacity, we should try to share this. Are you listening, Loknath ji? You are noting it down. You have to bring it in action. So, at our capacity, we have to spread it. And if you can influence some people who can form a political party and who become the government and the prime minister, then they can do a lot. Just like Prime Minister Narendra Modi says, I gift this Bhagavad Gita to wherever I go, to whichever country, because I think I don't have anything better than this to gift them, and they don't have anything better than this to receive. So this statement he has made, and he has done quite good influence on people. But we need much more. We will need many more people to become leaders and lead the society. So, in our capacity, maybe we will not able to do anything what is happening in Bangladesh right now from here, but at least we don't want those things to happen in India. So at least here in Bharat Bhumi, we should try to share this knowledge. Give people Bhagavad Gita, inspire many youths, businessmen, politicians to read and distribute and quote from this. At least we should dedicate our life for that purpose. At least some time, some energy for that purpose. Any other? Or someone wants to add to his question? You want to ask? There's a question from internet. I will go for book distribution on the streets. How to remain enthusiastic? I don't get so much enthusiasm. Same question was asked to Maharaj, Vidurans Gopal Maharaj. That, no, I'm not feeling to do it. Maharaj said there's no other option. You have to do it, and you have to just do it for 10,000 years. Because after 10,000 years, in this whole planet, there will be only adharma. This Sankirtan Yug, the golden age, the Sankirtan movement is only for 10,000 years. After 10,000 years, there will be no dharma, no Sankirtan. Human beings will cut and eat human beings. The situation will become like that. Only adharma will be there on the whole planet after 10,000 years. So Maharaj said that there is no option and you have to do it only for 10,000 years. So just do it. So that is one way to understand. Other way is we can be in association of enthusiastic devotees. So you can come to the temple and join the team of devotees. We have so many devotees who go around to distribute books every single day. We have our Traveling Sankirtan bus. We have locally, we have Nityanand Chandra Prabhu, who is going every day, and so many devotees go with him. So you, wherever you are situated, located, find out the local ISKCON center, get connected to the local ISKCON temple, and go out with them and associate with devotees who are very enthusiastic. Go out with them, and that's how we will also have our enthusiasm. But we should also remember, in that way we should remember how great was Prabhupada's enthusiasm. Going all alone to the US without any money, without any followers, alone in 1965 in a boat with 2 heart attacks, and then bringing this ISKCON movement all alone with now thousands of temples and lakhs of devotees. So we should remember Prabhupada. We should pray to him. Pray to Shri Gaur Nitai because we are working on their behalf. We are their representatives. So that's how we can do. But there's no other option ultimately. That's the only way to advance in our spiritual life. What do you want to know? Of my best experience of distributing books. I have learned few things from various devotees about distributing books in Mumbai and other places, and from the devotees who are here. And I find that it is really, there are many people who are looking for these books. They are very happy to accept these books. And whenever I go out with the devotees, I feel very happy. My experience is that I feel very happy when I go out. There's nothing like best or worst experience, but I can tell you that people are waiting for it. One time I was distributing books in Mumbai on the traffic signal, and I went to one car and I just touched it little bit on the window. There was one person inside who lowered his window. I thought he will take the book. But he didn't take the book. He became furious. He said, "Why did you touch my window? I can see you. Why did you touch my window?" So I said, okay. I said, "I'm sorry, it's because touching the window he became so angry." So one experience. Then I went to some other day. I was going in same road. Few more cars were parked. Another person I met, another big car. This time from outside only I did like this without touching. So generally people lower the window, he opened the gate only. And I thought he's going to fight with me, He said, "Swamiji, idhar aiye. Swamiji, come this side." He opened the gate. I said, "What does he want, From car only he's touching my feet." I said, No, I don't. No, Swamiji, Ashirwad dijiye. I said, "Bhagavad Gita lijiye aap." I don't have any blessings to give. Take a Bhagavad Gita. So he took a Bhagavad Gita. So there are people like that. There are people who are other ways also. So there are, all experiences are best experiences because all these experiences makes us closer to Krishna. But if we go, it's very good. We have been to places which are in India, which are very much dominated by Muslims, and we didn't face any challenge because we are in India. We went, and when Muslims took, Hindus took, Christians took, everyone takes. And this is the movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's why we are able to give also books like this. It has never happened in the history, and after 10,000 years also it will not happen. So just participate in this and you will feel very enlightened. One place in the purport to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, while explaining the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, book distribution is samadhi. Generally people outside world, they are doing yoga, they are doing so much. Why they are doing? They want to attain samadhi, moksha. And Srila Prabhupada mentions, distributing these literatures is samadhi. Because one is constantly thinking about Krishna. So, this is a very important service. Either you have best experience or bad experience, worst experience. You see, Jatayu trying to serve Lord Ram, he fought with Ravan. What happened to him? He died. I mean, he lost his life trying to serve Lord Ram, to save Mother Sita. And it's not that he knew very well that when I am going to fight this, I am going to die because Ravan is much powerful. But he thought, before I die, let me not miss this opportunity to serve Lord Ramchandra. Says, anyway, I am old. If I am going to fight with Ravan, I am going to die, no doubt. Because Ravan is very powerful and I am an old person. Jatayu can't win with him. But I can't wait and tolerate and just let it go that Sita is kidnapped and Ravan is taking, I am just watching it. I can't, and I will just report to when Ramchandra comes that I have seen it, and in that way I will also get darshan of Lord Ramchandra. He didn't sit down accusing himself of his old age, of his weakness, an opportunity to meet Lord Ram. He thought this is the opportunity to serve Lord Ramchandra. He immediately, whatever strength he could gather, with that strength, he went to fight, killed. But see the result, what he got. What he got? Huh? Lord Ram personally came and he did the funeral of Jatayu. And not only that, he got eternal fame of being a devotee of Lord Ram. Eternal fame. And Lord Ramchandra personally came and did the last rite, Antim Sanskar. He did personally. Is there any other example in the history? Lord Ramchandra didn't do the last rite for his own father. Dashrath Maharaj funeral, Lord Ramchandra was not there. But because of the service of Jatayu, Lord Ramchandra personally did. What a glorious life. Although he lost, but he is the winner. So whether now win, technically we can say it was the worst experience, he lost his life. But if you see from the spiritual point of view, he is the winner. He won this battle of life. Lord personally came and did his funeral. What else? So we are just attempting to serve the Lord irrespective of whatever the results. Okay. So we'll stop here. It's already 9:23. Thank you very much. Kindly you try your best in your capacity and try to go beyond our capacity to distribute this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Grantra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki. Srila Prabhupada Book Distribution Marathon ki. Hare Krishna.